everyone. This is Lisa Haven, and I've got a very important report for you guys today. And that is this: the World Bank has made a terrifying, and I mean terrifying, announcement that will literally rattle everyone to the core, specifically if you are a Christian, because this message that they have announced pertains specifically to Bible prophecy and the unveiling of that. Now, before I tell you what that is, I just want to take you straight to the source and let the source tell you, because I believe wholeheartedly on having documented evidence to back up any claim. I don't like to take anyone's word for it, and I don't expect you to take my word for it, which is why I always leave the links below. So let's dive straight into that report. Now, here's our first link on findbiometrics.com, and the headline reads, World Bank Accenture calls for universal identification, universal ID, and they're wanting to push this by the year 2030. Now, notice the date on this. It just happened September 29th of 2015. That's about a month ago, or a little over a month ago. But they go on to say that in a new report issued in collaboration with Accenture, the World Bank is calling on governments to work together to implement standard-sized, cost-effective identity management solutions. Now, I have a few more links to show you, but I want to add this to my report. We know that they have been pushing the immigration crisis in basically more prominent countries. And the reason that they're also doing this, and I put out a report, I don't know, a few days ago, where I said 6 things that will happen that as a result of the refugee crisis, 6 things that our government can do if they allow refugees in. Let me review those real quick. Turn rich countries into more third world poorer countries. Cause economic chaos, economic crisis. 3, depopulation. 4, police state. 5, turn the problem internally towards political dissidents, Christians, veterans, gun owners, those opposed to the New World Order. And the 6th one, shove, if not full implementation of the New World Order. Now, may I suggest that another thing they're going to accomplish with immigration is this 7th thing, and that is a national ID biometric system. The reason that the World Bank is calling for this ID system, if you read the report here, is specifically because of the immigration crisis, right? There we go. Exactly. Things are panning out exactly like I said they would. And we know just the other day, they're going to, I put out a report where they are going to push at the Paris Summit Climate Assembly that's going to be happening in Paris, France on November 30th through December 11th, that at that assembly, they're going to push or ask for or suggest a United Nations climate tribunal, basically like somebody who puts, if you have climate no-nos, climate justice kind of UN guy, and that's going to aid in turning richer into poorer countries as well. But I don't want to get too much into that. Now, here's the kicker. Not only are they going to introduce this universal identification system, but let me take you straight here to the World Bank. They want to do it electronically eventually. That is the goal. And by 2030, identification for development. Notice this was also put out a few months ago on August 25th, 2015. And here on the overview, I think is very imperative. It says providing legal identity for all, including birth registration, by 2030 is a target shared by the international community as part of the Sustainable Development Goals. This is why Sustainable Development, those conferences that are taking place, the one that took place in September here in New York and now the one taking place in Paris, France, are important to watch and listen to what the globalists are saying, because they're planning things. One of the things are a national ID system. Why would we need that to help climate change? What does a national ID system have to do anything? It doesn't. That's the kicker. They're using the false lie of global warming to implement the New World Order, to implement their national ID system. But it goes on to say the World Bank Group has launched the ID, or the Identification for Development, which they're calling ID40, cross-practice initiative with the participation of 7 GPCCSASs, sharing the same vision and strategic objectives to help our client countries achieve this goal. And with the vision of making everyone count, ensure a unique legal identity, and enable digital, is the key word here, ID basis services to everyone. And guess what? They're wanting to do this. I think they're doing it free of cost. Why? Well, because this is an agenda, something they want. They can track us. We know the other day that there was an NSA spy blimp in the skies that crash landed, and I'm blanking on where, but supposedly those things didn't exist. And lo and behold, here we are. But it goes on to state that some of the objectives, which included rights for women, and how that's even involved in that, is above and beyond me. But let's go straight here. I want to show you, this is on the United Nations Sustainable Development Agenda here. And these are their 17 agendas. I'm not going to get into this because I've gotten into it before. But when they're referencing this national ID system, this is where they get it from. Number 16, if you click on that, and I'm going to leave a link, and then 16.9, by 2030, provide legal identification for all, including birth registration. Notice it doesn't say if they want to do it biometrically, if they want to do it via card. That is open to be determined. So just a quick thing there, but that is where it's coming from. Now, I also came across this. Let me fix the screen here. And I'm going to leave a link for this as well. Here's the link up here. But World Bank Group put this out February of this year. They really want to get the ball rolling for this. And this is the ID4D program, specifically in regard to that 16th agenda on sustainable development at the United Nations. But here is the 1, 2, 3s of it. Identification for development, why it's important and critical, and how it can help fight against poverty. Identification doesn't fight against poverty, people, but hey, but you know what's for women and ladies as well. Do you see how they manipulate and get people to accept some kind of system like this? And that's how they're going to do it. Number 2, World Bank ID4D initiative and the after post 2015 agenda. So what's going to happen then? What is the role? We're going to get into that. Development impact, how banks scale and its support to achieve greater impact, once again, for the women. Robust civil registration and ID systems are a powerful platform for enhanced service delivery across all sectors and a force multiplier in the fight against poverty. I still don't understand how national identification fights against poverty. What national identification does is give everybody a number so that they can be tracked by world leaders. Ta-da! That's what it does. Don't paint it under a banner and pretend it's for poverty. Hey, we have organizations over there helping people who are in poverty. We don't need a national ID system. It's just crazy. I feel like... Mary and Joseph, when Caesar said, go get registered, right? That's exactly what's happening, but on a mark of the beast type level. Now, data on the spread and use of ID systems can advance. Hey, it can help with gender equality and help design evidence-based policies. Good heavens. No, an ID system does not help with gender equality. No, wait. Actually, let me think about that. How would they use the mark of the beast like technology to help with gender equality? Oh, I know. If you own a business, a small business, a large business, corporation, whatever, well, you have to have so many blacks, so many Hispanics, so many Indians, so many others, so many whites, so many gay, so many women, right? And so now they can monitor and make sure you got a variety at your business, because no longer is it about your work effort or your degrees or what you actually can and can't accomplish. If you are a minority, which means a non-white male or female for that matter, but if you are say Japanese or Chinese or of another race, well, you have precedence and preference over your typical white male. I see. In my opinion, that is racist. There's no other way to put that, but that's what they're talking about when they say gender equality via an identification system, which has not been specified how they want to do that. Why identification is important. Yes, tell me why. Proof of ID is a prerequisite for access to basic rights and services. Now, where have I heard that before? The Bible. That's right. Let me think. No one can buy, sell, or trade without the mark and the number of his name, the 666, or, that sounds awful familiar to me. Critical for effective and transparent policy decisions, improving governance, right? More power to the government. Yeah. Improves service delivery to anyone benefiting from advances in technology and secure and cost-efficient solutions. Prevents identity theft that hampers the efficiency of social programs, welfare, and public spending. Here are some of their challenges. I don't want to get into that. Key figures, they go on to say about, 750 million children are not identified. A fifth of the world's 2.5 billion unbanked people are excluded from the financial system. Yada, yada, yada. Opportunities and benefits here. And I want you to notice there is an urgent need for these issues to be more prominent in the agenda of the government. In other words, this is their agenda. At least they're admitting it. This is something they want, not necessarily something that people want. I don't think, I don't think we want to go and be nationally ID'd, but I don't, at least. Anyway, we have our driver's license. We have all kinds of things. And here we are. Implications for it. Now, here's how they're saying it can help women. How does it help women? It's preventing forced marriage and early marriage. Yeah, I don't see that, but whatever. Moving on. This is, here we are. Post-development 2015. Here is what they're looking to going forward. Post goals are being defined to drive big transformative shifts. Big change, in other words, is coming. Leave no one behind. Ensure that no person, regardless of gender, ethnicity, geography, disability, race, or other stats, is denied basic economic opportunities and human rights. This has nothing to do with human rights, but mark assured, you will not be left behind, and you will be forced to get this national ID system. They ought to say that, forcing the national ID system, not no one left behind. That's forcing it. Put sustainable development at the core. Eventually, who knows? They can use these metrics to say how much carbon you used, or how much you breathe, or how much who knows? They could use it for a million different things, especially if it's biometric and implantable. Okay, but at the very core of this biometric system, you can bet it has going to have some kind of taxing with sustainable development of some sort. Could be. Transform economies for jobs and inclusive growth. Build peace, false peace. And then, get this one, love it. Forge a new global partnership. But don't worry, the New World Order is just a figment of your imagination. Yeah, not so much. A new spirit of solidarity, cooperation, and multiple accountability must underpin the post-2015 agenda. It means looking forward. When I said that they kicked off the New World Order at the Sustainable Agenda 2030 meeting in New York, I meant that. Now, we may not hear about it right away, but we are seeing the toppling effects all the way from what I reported in the beginning of this video, how the United Nations is now talking about a climate court, climate tribunal that they might put through at the Paris summit, to here we are, a national ID system, to forging, in plain words here, a global partnership, a new world order. And I want you to notice a new spirit of solidarity. But that's kind of it. These are, that is the document in its whole. But here's the thing, Sweden is already doing something like this. And let me show you that link. Here we are. And I'm going to leave this because I don't want to read it to you. It's on miseswire.org. And it says the Swedish government, notice the date on this. And notice also, before I read this, ever since the early, I think it was 1970s, Yeah, 1970s, for about 45 years now. They have been allowing refugees, immigration into their country. As a result, I showed how rape went up and all the other crimes in Sweden have skyrocketed. Okay, well, now, as a result of immigration, one of the 7 goals of immigration that the government can accomplish, they're having a cashless society, which also, if we think back earlier this year to the Bilderberg meeting that took place, I think in June or July, June-ish of this year, one of the stated set agendas was a cashless society. Notice here, the Swedish government, by its fractional reserve banking system, is moving relentlessly toward a completely cashless economy. They've gone as far as to remove ATMs from rural areas. And according to Credit Suisse, the rule of thumb is Scandinavia is if you have to pay in cash, something is wrong with you, right? Why is that happening in Sweden? Because they've been dealing with the immigration crisis for 45 years now. Agenda, check. Agenda, check. And here we go. And thus the cookie crumbles. So as I stated in the beginning of this port, the World Bank has a major announcement that's literally going to rattle you and terrify you to the core. I don't know about you, but I'm not interested in a national biometric ID system, however they want to implement that. I'm not interested in the New World Order. I want my own citizenship. I'm part of America. I'm not part of the world issue here. And I don't want to be a part of the rising of the Antichrist, the mark of the beast, and his system. But anyhow, I wanted to bring all this information to you because I think it's imperative to get out there and forewarn people. Look what's happening already in Sweden and be ready for what is coming our way. Anyhow, wanted to bring you the latest. This is Lisa Haven signing off.